CALIBE is no stranger to the music business, considering that she's done written work, background and principal vocals for the likes of Beenie Man, Sizzler, Kimani Marley, Ultimate, not to mention doing work with the dynamic duo of Sly and Robbie, the great production team. You know what I mean? But now she's stepping out of the shadows and taking center stage. And we have her here on zvibz Unplugged, so she can tell us about, you know, the reasoning behind her making the decision now for her to just shine like a star. CALIBE, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, let me say this. That in and of itself is a very impressive resume, so to speak. What made you decide now to, you know what I mean, do you, if you will?
I have kind of been working on my own stuff for years and years and years. Anybody who knows my history knows that I've done some little EP stuff. I've done some stuff where Sly and Robbie kind of featured me.
Right.
Which is actually how I even got on the Beenie Man project in the first place, but I'm sure we'll come to that. But as of right now, I think this is the first time that I am finding a fusion that is that noticeable.
Right.
When I was in Jamaica, of course, everybody's doing reggae, so I was doing reggae. I came over here, it started to integrate a little bit when I was working with Kwame Holland. It started to integrate a little bit with hip-hop and R&B and neo-soul and whatever. That's when I initially met Blackout as well. And from reconnecting with him now, I ended up on this song with Ultimate, It's My Birthday. And that song led to kind of the creation of a sound where he and I did several recordings, maybe 8 or 9 tracks for an album that he was working on at the time.
Right.
And I did the lead vocals on most of them for the hooks and whatever. And all of his tracks were heading into this kind of, you know, dance. He's a very upbeat kind of guy or whatever. So I was kind of sucked into this thing of dance music, which I hadn't, you know, it was his spin on everything with this project. But while around all of that stuff, I kind of got drawn into the whole atmosphere of it as well. And
Right.
in working on tracks on it for myself, I found that I was able to do a lot more with my voice. I don't know why, but I was able to do a lot more with my voice than what I was doing before
Right.
with
Works
the
for you.
with the
Fits you.
reggae. Right.
Right.
So it felt so natural and whatever that this is what we kind of ended up working on, and the music has kind of found, or me and that music have found a niche together.
Now you're from Jamaica, you're in Miami, by way of Jamaica,
yes,
Kingston.
yes.
Everybody wants to say them from Kingston. Even if them from country, them say them from Kingston.
Kingston.
All right, and that's all right. Cool.
Yeah.
But you've mentioned that, you know, the musical landscape in Miami is a different kind of scene.
Yeah.
You know, how would you describe it, and how does that fit into what you're doing or impact it?
Miami is very, I want to say everything is kind of in a box here as well.
Right.
There is a dance music scene, but it's more about the DJs who play dance music. There is a Latin scene, so it's the reggaeton and the salsa and the merengue and that stuff. There is a reggae and dancehall scene that is a very pure reggae and dancehall scene. And then there's a hip-hop urban thing going on.
Right.
So I still find it a little difficult to try and find a niche to go in. You can go to a reggae show and jump on a stage and, you know, do a dancehall thing or do a Etana thing or whatever. You can go to a hip hop show and grab a microphone and you know, this stuff, and you can go to a bar and play with a live band. But for like myself, I find it difficult to find places or outlets or whatever to kind of try and expose myself, which is why I will end up doing a lot with YouTube or one of the songs I recently debuted the video for was with a duo in Holland that I met through a mutual acquaintance of ours.
Right.
We exchanged, everything was done via email and internet. The vocals were mixed here.
Right.
The track was mixed there. They shot their half of the video here. We shot our half and edited it here. So it's all very collaborative in this small world now. So, you know, Miami, Jamaica doesn't mean anything in terms of what you can reach out to do.
Right.
So it's an interesting place to be. You are touched by a lot of influences, But as with everything in the world right now, you kind of have to reach out past.
Which is true.
Yeah.
But now, piggybacking on what you said earlier with respect to the segmentation of the different genres, particularly down here, and with what you do, you know, I know you're saying you're using the YouTubes and so on to reach out, but really and truly, Calib, outside of that, you know what I mean, how do you push forward with your particular style, considering that these different genres are considered mainstream genres, are the more dominant genres? How do you know, traverse that?
Let me say it's a good thing that I work with DJ producers because they play their own
Blackout
music.
in particular.
Blackout in particular, who is my main producer, but Damian Daniel is part of Blackout Movement. He produced the song Hey DJ. Besanova and Marazzo, who are the ones that produce Like a Star in Holland, they are both DJs. So everybody that you end up working with in the dance scene is a DJ. They have their network of people that they work with. As well as, you know, we got some exposure from It's My Birthday, so we still have mailing lists of people that we deal with who were into that style of music to begin with and whatever. So, I mean, it's networking, it's one hand washing the other, and it is a lot of pavement pounding.
It's a lot of pavement. It's a grinding business in and of itself anyway.
Exactly.
But, you know, let us step back a little bit to just go back to the genesis of it all. I know you mentioned the girl group, but outside of that, how did it all started? I know you do a lot of writing as well. You know, the whole chicken and egg thing. Which one came first, the writing or the singing?
I'm going to say the singing. Everybody writes, well, I don't know if everybody does, but, you know, I started out writing poetry, ended up in this girl group, and we would write songs together for ourselves, but obviously we're singing together first. We'd do cover versions and talent shows and whatever in Jamaica. I had written a song one time and sang it for, I think it was Robbie. Just one away, you know, what do you think of this song, whatever. And he commissioned me at that time to write a song for Mary J. Blige. Now, with them with the song or whatever, I don't know that they ever submitted it to her. It eventually ended up on one of their albums with somebody else singing the song. But that is when I kind of gained confidence that, yeah, I might have something with the writing. So I'm going to say the singing started first, then the writing came. But, you know, as you develop as an artist, in order for you to establish kind of your own sound, I think it's important to either find somebody who writes well for your vocal or figure out what the best thing is for your vocal melodically, what the best content is for you artistically, that you want to, you know, if I can do a Nicki Minaj and be kind of out there and crazy and whatever, or I can do a Etana and be very positive and conscious. It's all going to depend on what you reflect from your own personality and what you want people to take away from you.
I think that's an outstanding point, simply because Khalid can be a better Khalid than she can be a pretend Etana or a pretend, you know, Nicki Minaj. Your musical style, you know, clearly it has a party vibe to it. But at the same time, there are songs that you can listen to. You know what I mean? Which I find, you know, something that's important. So it's really create a good mix that way.
I hope so. Thank you.